Guys, welcome to another vibrations on this here Brbptv. This is gonna be a long one, so I'm only gonna be dropping one video. So with that said, guys, welcome to this here Brbptv. I'm your boy Misplaced. I do appreciate you guys for definitely tuning in. And with that said, guys, give this video a thumbs up, and of course, let us get into the vibrations for today right there. Now, guys, this actually took place last night. Now, this is a preacher man, and he's speaking about different current events and certain things that are happening, which apparently individuals seem to be blind about. And of course, he touched on a number of things. And of course, if you guys want to get the full thing, you can definitely check out Emo News. She's the one I was gonna film it, but I realized they will film it, so I decided to react to it on that from their stuff. So if you want to go check out the full thing, the whole thing, guys, it's on Emo News. You can definitely check that out on Emo News Facebook page. I believe it is right there. But guys, this is very much pertaining to that of which I was talking about the last time, when it comes down to the whole pluralistic understanding, brothers and sisters. And there's a vital point in there, and I want to point it out right there, guys. This is gonna be a long one, so let us buckle your seats. Put on your seat belt, brothers and sisters. I was trying to say it like how we say it. But anyways, guys, this is gonna be a long one, so let us get into the vibrations for the day right there.
I'm believing God that this is the beginning of a move that will shake the very foundation of darkness in this nation. And I want you to hear me tonight, because what we are dealing with in this country is not a fight of flesh and blood. What we are dealing with tonight is a fight against spiritual wickedness in high places. Yes, man. What we are dealing with tonight is an onslaught of the kingdom of darkness that is arrayed against our nation.
Now, brothers and sisters, I want to break down everything. Like, I did a little research and putting things inside it to give you the understanding of exactly what is going to happen when it comes down to Dominica. I mentioned the whole pluralistic understanding, pluralist society, where you pretty much accept whatever people believe. Now, for me to give you more context in that, guys, take a listen to what I'm talking about right there.
What do you identify as? I'm a lesbian.
They, she. They, he, non-binary, trans, mass.
Bisexual. I'm just trans. I'm a gay male pup. Yeah.
He said he's a anti-man pop. I am an anti-man male pop. That is pluralism, brothers and sisters. In case you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah.
Gay male pup?
Yeah.
Transgender, PM.
I'm cis, she, her.
Probably non-binary, yeah, would be the best.
What about you? Bi?
A lesbian. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I like frogs, not people. I'm sorry, I like people. I'm sorry, I like frogs, not people.
I like frogs, not people. So that gives you an understanding of what I'm talking about, brothers and sisters, that of which Skerrit is going to be signing very soon. Alright, let's get back to the preacher man.
And I found something out that was put together by Grant and Berman in 2010. It's a report. The same report was done by Shabala and Incube in 2016. This is what they found. I read this to you. Studies in the developed world have shown a reversal in academic performance between males and females, with females outperforming males in almost all disciplines at various levels of the educational ladder.
Why is that? Why?
At the NEC, the Northeast Comprehensive School,
In Dominica,
there are 47 people on staff. Out of the 47 people on staff, 46 of them get involved in classroom education. And out of the 46 people that teach our children at NEC, only 5 are males.
Now, guys, you might be wondering, what is the relevance of this, brothers and sisters? If you understand how life is when it comes down to the dynamic between men and male and female, There was a video I saw of a little one falling off the chair, kind of slip off the chair and went down. And the mother came to try to baby the little one, to lift him back up, to put him back on the chair. And the father said, no, let the little one climb up on the chair so that he knows how to do it on his own. Even though the mother went back and he said no, until the little one climbed up the chair for himself and sit back down. Brothers and sisters, the importance of a father, the importance of men in society, that is a key, brothers and sisters, right there. In our schooling system, women are more, nurturers in that aspect, whereas men are more disciplinarians. And I'll break this down to you guys a little bit further. Look at how society is and how society is set up. Brothers and sisters, those who are leading us, are they really men, or are they people who are only for their benefit? Brothers and sisters, continue.
In the Marigot Primary School, there are 15 teachers, a principal, 2 staff from the NEP. Only one is male. In the Wesley Government School, there are 12 teachers. None of them are male. On December 8th, 2022, the Dominica'S State Prison told us that there were 237 inmates.
237 inmates. 237 people are locked like fowl in cages, brothers and sisters.
Out of the 237 inmates in the prison, 234 are male.
Only 3 are female. 234. 234 men or males are locked up behind bars, brothers and sisters. For whatever reason it is. Does that mean society in itself has failed them why they ended up there? Or on their own personal agendas, brothers and sisters? That's why they ended up there.
My God!
And then when it comes down to development of the little ones out there, there's very little to no disciplinarians, the males out there. You can see the dynamic when it comes down to mother and father. You can think it for yourself. If your mother were to tell you something, you'll be like, okay, you'll do it this time. If your father were to tell you to do something, you don't have to tell you twice, You make sure. Because there's something innate in us that looks as the male or father figure or role model out there. But they have destroyed the male, especially when it comes down to the country. It's interesting. Let's continue.
If there is ever a time in our nation when men are in crisis,
it is today.
It is now.
Yep.
I believe if we're going to see anything come out of this generation that needs to change, this is what I see happening. I believe that the man on this planet is misplaced.
Yep.
Say misplaced.
As if men know how to be men, but when majority of men are being raised by women, then you understand the dynamic that a woman cannot turn a man into a man. It is only a man that can do that job. But it's interesting how the dynamic goes, whether they are deadbeat fathers or just wicked mothers themselves, who try to use the little ones that are growing up against the men because of their own personal thought process. But anyways, guys, let me not get ahead of this. Let's continue.
We're dealing with misplaced men who have vacated their positions. And vacating their positions, they have created a void. And listen, anytime a void is created, it opens the door to dysfunction.
Dysfunction, brothers and sisters. Is there dysfunction in Dominica?
We're really suffering. I believe you're really suffering. I mean, give me a break. I mean, I know why you guys complain like this. Everybody just complaining, and not thanking the Lord for what they have, and everybody's complaining about what they don't have and they don't have enough. And
isn't it on the basis of what you guys have caused that causing people to complain because they do not have? So you tell them what you could get, forget about it, be happy with what you have. When you, on the other hand, are developing yourselves and getting all sorts of things, telling the people one thing and then saying something on the contrary. Hey, I don't need no mansions. Yet still you're on your third one. It's interesting. Also telling people, hey, don't go and buy a fridge with ice. We need to go back to the days where you used to put things in what is it? Coolers. Telling the people that way. And telling the people not to complain.
I mean, thank the Lord for what you have. This complaining stuff or suffering this and suffering that, and you know, we have to move away from these things, Dominica.
Move away from these things in Dominica. Stop complaining. Just accept whatever we give you. Whatever we give you, but we on the other hand, we're trying to get as much as we can. Stop complaining. That is what the leader of a country is telling you. Where are the men to say, hey, no, hold up. It's not so. What you are doing to us is not right. And people see it for themselves. This is why a number of liberals will tell you, hey, I want to leave and go somewhere else. Now, he was speaking, the preacher man was speaking in general, brothers and sisters, on the basis of these things. But I can still pinpoint what he said and realize, hey, this is exactly what is happening in Dominica. And Skerrit will come and tell you.
But this place is becoming a place of complainers and a complaining industry. We move from gossip.
But that is what you have created as the leader of society. You have created this. When people complain, you tell them not to complain that of which you have created. That's crazy. But hey, let's go back to the preacher man.
And our families are now in crisis.
Don't complain. In crisis, brothers and sisters.
Because the male have stepped away from their roles and have created a void that have brought dysfunction to the nation. If you look with me, you will notice that a lot more is happening.
Oh, man, who's supposed to have the balls to say no, this is not happening here. You are the prime minister, true, but no. People who would stand up and say, hey, no sir, that doesn't fly there. But apparently it seems like greed has set into the heart of man, because they are getting certain things. They are staying quiet. They are quiet, brothers and sisters, because they are getting for themselves. So they no longer have the backbone of principle to guide them. And when they are set in that way and they have gotten, they cannot then turn back and say, hey, no. Because you have benefited. People have also seen that you have benefited that as a result. Even though you are talking now, is it too late? That is the question. Right.
In terms of lawlessness in the nation.
When lawlessness is not just amongst the normal citizens, but about the very people at the top. What do you expect the people, the normal citizens to do? The role model is supposed to be our leaders, brothers and sisters, but our role models are corrupt. What do you expect the people to become? Good, productive citizens. I literally made a song about this. Stating, how on earth do they expect the next generation to become good, positive citizens when they see all this chaos happening, when the very leaders themselves are corrupt? It's interesting.
Listen, I came to town to tell you today that this is not a fight of political systems.
True. Sometimes that's what we see. We see the physical, but realize there's a spiritual battle going on. When you wonder, why are they pushing certain agendas? One is to destroy the family. When you destroy the brothers and sisters, if you look at any society in the world, throughout history, you will see that the number one thing that would cause the enemy to step in was they broke down the family unit. This is why you have all this misindependence, feminism, and all this kind of something there running rampant in society, and they think that is something positive for them. Humans should not be alone, brothers and sisters. When society is making you, pushing you to the understanding that, hey, you don't need anybody, you can do things on yourself. Even though society was developed by the very men, whereby women are now saying that they don't need men, for which society was built so comfortable for them to say that they don't need men and they want to have little ones growing up in that dynamic. Young boys growing up seeing their mothers, they are the ones who take care, and then when they get older they expect a woman to take care of them. The young girls growing up see their mother doing the same thing too, for whatever reason. They then believe that they have authority in that regard. And when the younger ones are growing up, they disrespect their mothers and all sorts of things that are happening, brothers and sisters. And people don't seem to understand why. Because men are more disciplinarians, brothers and sisters. Women are more nurturers. I mean, you've seen it everywhere. You've seen it.
This is a fight of spiritual darkness.
Yep. And when they break the family, then they can usher in their own philosophies, bring in pluralism and inclusions into societies that is completely contrary to the nature of God. That is something else. Eh?
And you and I must better observe that.
It's not that we do observing, you know. Our eyes are open, brothers and sisters, but do we care? Or just for me, let me go and see what I can get for me and maybe my own, if they benefit, that's great for them. But me. Society seems to be all about that me aspect. I don't care about them, they're doing their own thing. Well, let me do it. You understand?
And understand that what we're dealing with is the crippling effect of the kingdom of darkness upon the land.
When the enemy is outside, brothers and sisters, we feel we are safe. But when the enemy is within and we are unaware, some of us think nothing is happening. Not true. All right then.
We got to open our eyes to what the enemy is doing. Listen, when I read in the book of Genesis, I see in the book of Genesis what the Bible says in chapter 3 and verse 17, when God came down after the fall of man,
he looked for the man.
The very first person he came to was the man. Because the man was given the responsibility to cultivate and to guard.
To cultivate. What we see our leaders doing, cultivating us, brothers and sisters, for their betterment, or to become servants to them. I remember Reginald Austri.
We have been lost for too long in this world.
Whose fault is that?
Dominica has been behind in too many things.
Whose fault is that? It is your fault. You come in and tell the people Dominica has been back last for too long, when you have been leading the country or part of the leadership of the country. Where's the backbone to say, hey, what you're doing is not right? Where is it? But no, that's what people always, they don't put the blame on them, even though they're the ones in charge. They don't put the blame. They blame everything else.
Insurance, ladies and gentlemen.
I remember this one.
Yes, if my children fall sick, I can fly them out. But what about all of us here, all of you here?
The man say he can fly out his little ones and his family out if they need medical attention, then ask the country that he is leading. What about you? As if it is your duty to fix the hospitals and to organize and make sure things are in the hospital. He's asking you.
How many of us have health insurance?
Somebody falls sick, a lady 42 years old, gets a heart attack or stroke or one of them. She has to be airlifted. She could feel sick Friday,
Seems like apparently he doesn't know his responsibility, because he's wondering, well, the person gets sick, so who is going to fly her out?
Friday after work. She has to be airlifted Saturday morning. What do I say to a family like this?
When you don't know your own responsibility as a man, much more to know it as a leader, what do you expect to happen, brothers and sisters? What do you say to a family like this? You forget it's you guys that are in charge of the hospital and to ensure that the hospital has what it needs. We consider ourselves to be the nature of the Caribbean. We have no formal herbal remedies to help. Nothing of that sort.
In the circumstance, and they have no means of getting the resources.
They have no means of getting the resources, that of which you have as the leader of a country. Oh, let's go back to the preacher man.
Men, you were not given the responsibility to harass women.
Oh, to exchange things. Hey, give me your body in exchange for this. You want to go to school? Okay, you need to be there every Thursday and whatnot so that I can use you. And then you'll be able to get the scholarship to go and study or whatever you need to do. You want to build your house? No problem, come. I will take the people's money to give you, but you have to serve me in certain things, in certain favors that I want. That's not a man, brothers and sisters.
You were not given the responsibility to see how many skirts you can raise up. You were given the responsibility to culture and to cultivate the generation. You were given the responsibility to protect the generation.
You know, as he's talking to brothers and sisters, you know what's in my mind? I've also oftentimes heard the people say, where's the church in this? And sometimes when the church comes out, they're saying, oh, the church not supposed to be there and whatnot, separate church and state. I've heard people saying all this dynamic. But you know, I realize something, brothers and sisters. It is not necessarily the church, brothers and sisters, because the church is there. But it is men. They are men. Men is the problem, brothers and sisters. There's a lack of men. Even though you have the church, majority of the church is filled with women. Yes, if you want to go and find a wife, you know where to go church. You must find. Because majority of the churches are filled with women. The majority of the prisons are filled with men. Because it's either society that failed them or themselves that failed themselves because they did not know their own responsibility. So yes, the church is needed, true. But it is men that are lacking in society. This is why all the chaos has happened, brothers and sisters. I remember the dynamic of different societies. History, it states that on the fall of society, you know the number one thing, family. You know the second one, brothers and sisters. The second thing that comes into the forefront after the family has been destroyed is gender. When people are confused about their own genders, look at what is happening in the United States. You think the United States is number one still? If you think United States is running number one, you are sadly mistaken. But let's continue.
And when the generation is void of cultivation, what will happen?
Chaos.
Is weeds will grow up. And when weeds grow up, the productivity will go down.
Look at the growth sectors of Dominica, brothers and sisters. We have not been cultivating anything. And look at the state of Dominica right now. Look at the state.
These arguments that they bring about bills relating to LGBTQ, they'll never say them to the Arabs.
Nope.
They'll never go to Kuwait.
Nope.
They'll never go to Bahrain.
No.
They'll never go to Brunei.
Why is that? Because there are men structures inside there. They would never go to these places, brothers and sisters, to push these things. They'll try to go to weak nations who do not necessarily have a strong force. When men are weak, when men don't even know they are men, brothers and sisters, what do you think is going to happen to society? Men are supposed to protect women, and women are then have the responsibility then to protect the weak set of men that are out there. And that self is chaos because emotions come into the picture, and there's a whole set of dynamic in that regard that is not built for women to do. Everybody has their own roles and stuff. Everybody have their responsibility. And if it's not being pushed by our own natural beings, brothers and sisters, corruption will happen.
They'll never go to Saudi Arabia. They'll never go to Indonesia to tell them it is Africans who they think are tails to be wagged. So on this issue,
they come to the Caribbean and they get our weak leaders to do things, to sign things. And they themselves don't even know what they're signing. They say, I believe, or I think, or I this and that. Listen to the Prime Minister talk about the very last thing that they want to sign. I believe this, or if this is nothing, then we need to put this and whatnot. He has no clue. What on earth is the thing? But after he said he believes and this, I think, and does that, he then tells the people he wants to sign it. Why? Weak-minded people, then he signs the stuff. Then it comes into society. That is a big problem right there, brothers and sisters, because then when everything is accepted. I was listening to an argument the other day about a girl speaking about certain things, and she was saying, well, it's legal, this and that. Why? They were talking about, unliving the little ones in the stomach. And she said, well, it's legal, so it's okay. So a lot of people base their stuff on legality, not necessarily on morality or principle. So when they base it on that, brothers and sisters, what do you expect to happen? They will think it's right. But another individual told her, well, slavery was also legal at one point. So the legality of things doesn't dictate what morality standing of man should be. I mean, it's simple logic, unaliving the little ones.
The government of the Uganda and the people of Uganda, I am with them 100%. There is no freedom outside of the law.
How do you balance the decision on the right?
Malema disappoint me greatly. He disappointed me greatly when it comes on to that. This is what made me lose faith in Malema. He's siding with the very thing that is against his own people, just for the sake of trying to get more votes onto his side. Really?
To choose. Choose what? The choice must be limited according to the mores.
The mores. Oh, I like that.
According to the mores. Choice must be limited according to the mores.
The choice must be limited according to the mores. Moral values, brothers.
Of a different community. And in any event, should we be talking about LGBTQ when we have no food on the table? And the danger, including with you journalists, is that now when you interview people, you have your own position that you want to impose on us.
Yes.
We refuse.
We refuse. That is backbone right there, brothers and sisters. Backbone. Prime Minister doesn't know nothing. Oh, I think, I believe, I this and that, but I will sign anyway.
So if you hear farmers and you know what I'm talking about, when the productivity goes down, your yield is small. And have you noticed, by the way,
so for those of you who don't understand, when the cultivators are not cultivating, the productivity goes down. Who are the cultivators of society? The men. So when the men don't even know they are men, and the men who are out there fighting, there are other people fighting against them, just like the bus drivers. Bus drivers fighting to get some assistance. There were bus drivers fighting against the same bus drivers. Boy, you think something not wrong with you, man? Boy,
yield is very small in every aspect of operation in this nation.
Every single one. Every single one has dropped. The only one that is not dropped is the construction aspect that is being handled by whom? The foreigners. So they are paying foreigners to come and do what Dominicans themselves can do. Sending the monies. Who knows if they're deciding to bring these individuals down. Okay, they come. We get the cut from what you guys do. Bow. You get the monies, we get our cut. Maybe that's what is happening. Why they putting the people last in their own country. And people won't say anything. You can have Reginald Austria who stood with Rosie. You just shake your head, boy.
The voice of God is still the conscience of the nation. The voice of God is still what we need.
So when you're hearing the Prime Minister talking about, oh, you know, I heard what the Catholic priests say and all those kind of things there, and he said that they do their research extensive and they also, you know, do their heavy due diligence search. And he comes back and tells people what he think, and then completely ignores what they're saying to put his basis of his decision on what he thinks and he believes, not what he knows. I mean, that is the leadership. Oh, I tell you, boy. The voice of God is still the consciousness of the people. But then again, if the people don't even listen to God, what do you expect to happen?
To set the nation in order.
Look at our traditional leaders and the slave trade. We blame the whites.
Blame everybody.
For the slave trade we went through. We blame the whites that they offended us. They took us as slaves. But let's wait for a minute. Who sold the black man to the whites?
Who sold them, brothers and sisters? Who sold them? I remember the Prime Minister came and was speaking about something in Parliament, saying that they're not going to bully me. They know me well. He said that. They know me well. They will not bully me. But in the same light, in his country, he's bullying people. Why? They will not bully me. You think that is a good moral standing? Yes, I will not be bullied. But then you must also keep it that you won't be bullying other people. Who sold the black man to the white man? Who sold that? Who? We have the same situation happening where they're selling out Dominica bit by bit. I will never forget when we went on island tour some years ago. Before before Maria, I believe it is. Yes. We went around, there were some white people that bought some land that had waterfalls and stuff, and they told us that we had to pay to go in there. Foreign people. Who's selling out Dominica? Who? Number of persons are saying that Dominica is sold to Chinese. Who you think is selling it or has sold it? If it's sold. Who's allowing these things to happen?
Who sold the black man to the whites? Our own traditional leaders. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is within. If we are asking the Europeans to pacify us and also to apologize to us, our traditional leaders must be the first to apologize.
True.
On behalf of their ancestors, for the evil they have done against their fellow blacks.
Sometimes it's our own people that are doing us wickedness. The understanding of crab in the barrel, brothers and sisters. Crab in the barrel. A crab will try to get out. I remember the story of a young boy watching the crabs and say, "Papi, look, a crab is trying to come out." He said, "Don't worry about it, son. Don't worry." When he do look, there were other crabs trying to grab the crab that was trying to escape and pull it back down. Sometimes it's not outside that is the problem, no, brothers and sisters. It's inside. That's why a number of Dominicans are trying to escape, because they know the problem is not outside. If the problem is outside, they will not try to escape to go outside. They're trying to escape from what is happening inside.
Look at our attitude towards the environment and the destruction of our water bodies. All our river bodies have turned into dark brown. And you know what they said? In the next 20 years, if we don't stop this illegal mining, Ghana, we will import water to drink.
Dominicans, aren't we importing water today? We claim we have 365 rivers. And look at what is on our shelves today, brothers and sisters. Look at what is on our shelves today. We go to the wholesale stores and a number of places, retail stores. What are they selling? You will swear it's in a different country you'll be, brothers and sisters, when you go into some of these stores. There's nothing Dominican there. Stuff from Trinidad, stuff from St. Vincent and Grenadines, stuff from Jamaica. I will never forget. We going overseas and we trying to bring sorrel overseas, brothers and sisters. Jamaican sorrel. We have sorrel in Dominica, you know. But Jamaican sorrel we have to take to bring for family members.
Yet we don't care. And Chinese people will come from their country into our forest, destroy our forest, destroy our land, and illegally mine and damage our waters.
Who you think is allowing them to come in? You think they just come in on their own to do these kind of things? When we're seeing things happening, brothers and sisters, not a drop of word has been told to the Dominican people. We just see things happen. Just see, bow, look it happening. Chinese working on this thing, Chinese working on that thing. Never telling the people nothing. And the people staying quiet. Where are the men, brothers and sisters? There are a few who trying their best.
How can they come if the traditional leaders didn't give them permission?
I just say that. Do you think giving them the permissions to do these things? Or very people?
To do that. And in one instance, while they were dead, our military went there to protect them.
The military went to protect the foreigners.
Our own military that is supposed to protect us rather protected the foreigners to destroy our water and destroy our forest.
Why do you think that is? Maybe because the foreigners are giving them some sort of monies. The foreigners are giving money that has no real value. Man is fighting for that and betraying their own people for the sake of little papers that have no real value. This is Africa, brothers and sisters. You don't think that happened, Dominica?
I want to say to these policemen who are there, protecting Chinese.
So you
all have a duty to protect the citizens of Dominica. We are fighting for you. And yep. Skerrit took a 30% increase. How much did you get?
Didn't the African man just say that? Look, the police there. They're supposed to be protecting the people. Oh boy.
Without the voice of God, in the absence of the voice of God, no order will be set.
True.
Because man have been removed from the place or his office, and he have given rise to a system of darkness that is taking over and influencing. When you move away from the source that informs your direction, you open up the pathway to
all sorts of crazy stuff. The issuing of pluralism into society. You might not see no effects now. 5 years later, 10 years later, you will start seeing it. But it always starts with a little, a little
other influences, and that creates a platform for misinformation. So the misplaced man
and misguiding, being misguided,
has opened up the doorway to misinformation, and misinformation becomes the foundation on which he builds. Can you understand when you build on foundation that is
not true, on your own thought process, where you think, oh, that is it, and that I always ask the question, brothers and sisters, when people say I respect your opinion on that, so I ask them, where do we leave room for the facts? Where is the room for facts? You share your opinion, I share my opinion. Well, let's weigh them on the facts. Where do we leave room for the facts?
Weak and shaky. The structure, even if the structure is sound, it will fail because the foundation determines the strength of that.
Yep. If we have built our civilization on weak structures, brothers and sisters, no principle, just taking everything, whatever. Man who doesn't stand for something will fall for anything. You heard that saying before? That is a literal statement, not just for man, but for everything. If you do not stand for something, you'll fall for anything, especially if your main purpose is greed. And you don't care if you have to sell out your own people, but then again, if that is your people.
The word of God tells us that righteousness exalts a nation. You hear that? Righteousness exalts, lifts up a nation.
I was hearing the Prime Minister talking about the good Lord, and we need to look about the good Lord and the Lord this and Lord that. But don't you listen to the good Lord? I mean, if you are Prime Minister and listen to the good Lord, you think you will try to usher in this kind of magic there? There's nonsense there. We are the men to stop it.
Unrighteousness brings down a nation. So it doesn't matter where righteousness is, there will be elevation. Where unrighteousness is, there's failure.
So is that the downfall of Dominica? Is that seriously the downfall of Dominica? Because Dominica used to be bright and shining, brothers and sisters. Dominica was bright and shining before. The other younger generation that coming up, they have no clue what Dominica was like. I was a little boy, I remember, in the glory days of Dominica. When bananas were passing all over the place and people hustling, going to get their money, they're happy. And they're not going to just get a little money here and there, They're getting thousands upon thousands of dollars. A lot of the big houses that we've seen in Dominica, brothers and sisters, you wonder how can farmers, societies, the new generation tend to look down on farmers. They build their house cash. They build their house cash. The big houses, some of the big houses in Marigot and Salisbury. Even Portsmouth too. build their house cash on bananas and agriculture.
And again, I said to you, one of the reasons why we're seeing all the failure in this nation is because the nation is rotten at its core.
Rotten at its core. What is the core of Dominica, brothers and sisters? Isn't it you and I? This is why the same professor you just saw a while ago, brothers and sisters, Professor Lumumba, he stated the people get what they truly deserve. Sometimes you wonder, why is that is our prime minister? Why is that? But the people get what they deserve. If the people were wise enough, if men were there to stand up and say that is not today that happening, brothers and sisters. Remember back in the day, even places like Kulibish Tree, when they tried to push things in parliament and these people leave parliament to come down, what? They're not going home now. They're blocking them in Kulibish Tree and they're sending them back to rectify it. You think that I can't buy? They would send them back to rectify it because the people say, not today, you're doing that there. Not here. Somewhere else, but not here. But apparently it's happening, you know.
Unrighteousness has infiltrated the lives of those who give leadership to this nation.
Yeah, let me bring that back again.
Unrighteousness has infiltrated the lives of those who give leadership to this nation.
Joining witchcraft and doing all sorts of things, all sorts of strange things. The Lord's joining you've seen all kind of people, all strange people coming out and giving medal as if they do something wonderful. Not realizing maybe it's a stage that they had to do to push certain things in society. Maybe destroy their own people and then give them medals. And when the people look, hey, you did something nice, man, not realizing it's them that were the targets that they had to destroy.
So if we build a society on faulty premises that gratifies and magnifies the agenda of the enemy, what do we expect to happen?
We want to sign stuff in, boy.
What do we expect to happen when we allow the people that serve us to be indulged in darkness? Listen to me. There has never been a time in this nation where there is more necromancy and witchcraft and occult as we see today.
Brothers and sisters, when last you see a bright red cow passing all over? When last you see a husband and wife who are apparently leaders of society talking about some strange statue that in their house? Even the wife said she was scared about that thing. Coming and tell the people in public about certain things. When on earth you hear the strange things happening right in your face sometimes, you know, but they know humans and how humans are. Hey, we come and tell you, oh, there's nothing, man. They come and tell us. If it was something secret, they won't come and tell you. Sometimes that is exactly what they're banking on. And people think nothing is happening, boy.
God wakes us up in the morning, sometimes to walk the streets and to go to strategic places, sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I can tell you the things that we see.
3 a.m. in the morning. No, don't do that.
I can't even, I don't even want to tell you right now. I pray tonight, my friends, pastors and leaders, apostles and prophets, teachers and evangelists, I pray tonight we will find the common ground, glory to God, that connects us on the platform of righteousness, so together we can stand arms locked into arms, glory to God, and decide once and for all, we don't really care who is leading. We're going to fight to bring this nation to a place of repentance.
Sometimes the very leaders in churches are compromised for the sake of themselves getting money. But it still boils back to the same thing initially, brothers and sisters. Are they men? Regardless of if they look male, brothers and sisters, are they truly men with responsibility, or can they easily bored, brothers and sisters? This is one of the things that I always, when I growing up new in society, when you have leaders, you had leaders with principle. Leaders with the understanding to do what they know needs to be done. As I got older and older, realizing the very leaders can be compromised, and realize that even today's societies, most of our leaders are corrupt. Even though man putting blame on people that they don't even know if they step in positions to do things, they are also putting them as corrupt because they see so much corruption is happening with the present ones. They believe that everybody else is corrupt. It's interesting how humans operate. And then the leaders are banking on that to make sure, hey, oh, you think I corrupt? They corrupt too? Well, leave me there. I corrupt already. You know that. The humans don't realize that if they change to see the other side, maybe things might be different. But no, everybody is saying, well, you know, everybody corrupt. Even some people are telling me, Mr. Lex, if he was in the same position, he'd do the same thing too. Who me telling that? I could never. Brothers and sisters, I could never. You know why? Because I have seen things. I have been around things, brothers and sisters. I know exactly what happened. Brothers, I have... Oh. Boy. Let's continue.
And some of us have no discernment.
Nope.
To see the plans of darkness.
Right in your face, we. Right in your face, they're pushing agendas and you think, oh, nothing. Oh, that is nothing, man. That is nothing.
We are so consumed with the immediate. We are so consumed with the things that we don't see what God wants us to see. Listen to me, beloved, tonight. The things that we so pursue, they are going to burn.
Burn up.
All the nice cars will rot. All the pretty homes will be destroyed.
I saw a partner of mine. He's one of the individuals, he grew up without having anything. And today I see him with Lacoste pants, Lacoste shirt, Lacoste hat. What else? Lacoste pants, shirt, hat. He had a chain. I said, my brother, what are you doing all that for? He had a Lacoste sack posh. He opened up the Lacoste sack posh with only $20 in there. And 2 packs of cigarette. You buying all that for what? To prove to people, to make them think that you have some sort of level of money. When you in your sack posh, enough. Anyways, let me continue.
All of it. So those who glamorize the existence of their plenty on the planet, I've got some news for you.
It means nothing.
The things you boast so much about, when you face Almighty God, it will be nothing. Touching the single families that contributes to the demise of the nation, because a lot of our homes are now being run by single parent, and in most cases it's the woman.
And you think that is something good? Brothers and sisters, that has brought the greatest downfall to humanity. Single motherhood. Now don't get me wrong, you know, brothers and sisters, not all single motherhood is bad. But on the basis of the premise of generalism, brothers and sisters, take a listen to what I'm saying right here.
Girls with no fathers in the home have lower self-esteem. Okay, fine.
That's true. I remember back in the day when we knew the dynamic of girls, and I learned that from other fellas as well. When there's no father home figure or anything of that sort, these girls we knew were very easy. Very easy.
Fine, that sucks, but also women with low self-esteem are more promiscuous. No father families more likely to be victims of abuse, especially with single mothers. The more opportunities a child has to interact with biological father, the less likely they are to commit a crime or have contact with the juvenile justice system. Okay, another way to say that is men and women who are incarcerated, the population of the prisons mostly encompass fatherless homes.
234. 3 women, because society seems to be lenient to women. But 234 in Dominica. Look at the other prisons. Who are the majority of people in prisons? Not men. Look at the lifestyles that they came from, brothers and sisters. Majority of them came from single households. Look at the ghetto. Look at the ghetto in New York and a number of other places. Chicago, Chirac, they're calling it. Most of these men grew up without fathers. Their fathers themselves were also in jail.
Now, here's something that no one else has mentioned, which I think is cool, and I don't really say this eloquently. If a man and wife raise a child, they're less likely to end up in jail, but they have the same statistical chance as children raised by just their father.
The statistical advantage is on the basis of mother and father homes, or fathers only. Not for single mothers, brothers and sisters. This is the good.
So if we want to keep children, adults, out of prison, mother, father, or just father? Well, we don't want to hear just father, so let's try to keep the families intact. I think that just seems better.
Yeah, I think it's better to keep them. But then look at the court system. They tend to give the little ones to the mothers. The mothers themselves are raised on the emotions and frustrations because they themselves sometimes need to take on both father and mother roles. But it's interesting that on the father's side, the father doesn't need to take on the mother role at all. He remains the father figure to his little ones. And as a result, they have statistical advantage above the single mothers. Statistical advantage. So it is. There's a number of these stats I have, brothers and sisters. Not me that making this up. Anyways, let's go back.
Is women
yes, brothers and sisters, the very thing I was talking about, understanding pluralism and this kind of things there, look,
are the number one enablers of the global homo regime, right? Women love gays.
Look at society. They will tell you, oh, nothing wrong with that.
Women love drag queens, women love transgenders, and they cheer on transgenders. And when you go on the comment section of Dylan Mulvaney, you're going to find that 90% or 95% of Dylan's audience and people that are cheering him on are all females. Okay, so we are our own.
And no females having a problem with these people now. Why? Because these people are talking for them as they call themselves women. And women are finding it difficult. How can they be representatives unto us when they are the ones who allowed this to happen in the first place? Where are the men?
Worst enemies. We are the reason why these men are being elevated to these positions.
Want me to say today is actually being a single mother is totally possible. It actually isn't. Do you know that? It's not. It was never meant to happen for the human race. Number one.
This is why when the sperm and the egg meet, there's something, and who brings it together? Male and female come together to produce something. Therefore, that produce something, brothers and sisters. What does that tell you? That they need to also be together in that little one's life. If mother is vexed with father because they check it, oh, I father ugly, I don't like father again. Go and mother, they're trying to struggle to raise this one, and this one growing up with all the instabilities in them, traumas and what have you, because the father was not there. I mean.
Number two, single biggest determiner of whether a mother is a good mother. What do you think it is? This is going to blow your mind when I tell you the answer.
I know the answer already. The father, yeah.
Whether they have a supportive partner. So the major argument for good dads is actually, can the dad be there for the mom? Because it's like a direct chain is what we see. What you see is that if you've got a father figure basically who's supportive to the mother's energy goes towards the children. But the second that she doesn't have that supportive energy, she collapses, is what happens. And then the kids get starved.
See how important the father figure is, guys?
I want us to understand that we talk about what the school system is incorporating in the curriculum, but we do nothing. We spend our monies on nice buildings, and there's nothing wrong with nice buildings, and I'm not attacking anybody for the nice buildings, but we focus on the wrong thing.
Yep. Like education, we have nice hospitals, but the service of the hospitals still suck, even to the point where we still need to fly people overseas. We have nice building, not true? State of the art looking building, brothers and sisters. You might have nice schools, but if the education suck, what do you think is gonna happen? We just gotta have nice schools breeding dumb children. Or dumber children.
The investment in the education of our children, when we can have a presence in what happens in the education system, is something that should take front and center stage. So rather than complaining about the gay and LGBT agenda that seem to be creeping into our curriculum, why don't we as a people, as groups of people, come together? Why don't the CLC and PAWI and the Gospel Mission and the independent churches, why don't we come together and understand it's one cause? Build a school.
Well, there are schools out there, Christian Union, there's a number of schools, but I definitely get his point. But he's gonna touch on something rather interesting, I think. Let me see if I can get it. Let me
I tell you, to change the system, we may have to go back all the way to the preschool setting.
But that is what the wicked ones are doing. This is why right now they're trying to indoctrinate the little ones to tell you, oh, you can be a girl, you can be a boy. Even though you're not that. That's what they're telling you. They indoctrinate the little ones. They have little books trying to teach people about sucking this and sucking that. Promoting anti-man agenda in preschool. Have it in their libraries. That's one of the things that is happening right now in the United States, where man now have to come to parliament to wonder what on earth is going on. How can these things be there? Let the little ones be little ones. But they're trying to indoctrinate them. So obviously the best thing to do is to do the same thing too.
To change the order of things. I stood there one day because I live very close to the police station in Wesley. And I walked up there on a Friday afternoon and I saw two boys standing there ready to go before the magistrate. And they're going to be sent down to prison. Their crime? They stole a phone. So for stealing a phone, you send a teenager into prison to hang out with hardened criminals, and there is no rehabilitation process in place.
So what do you think is going to happen? They're going to learn from these wicked people. When they do come out, what do you think is going to happen? It has been stated that the people who have come out from jail three times likely to commit the same crime or to commit other crimes again, are likely to go back. Brothers and sisters, do the research on that. You will see for yourself. Because apparently there's no sort of reform that's especially when it comes down to Dominica. We wondering why are certain people that way. Look at we see one of the individuals who rose to a little stardom, Suki. People asking, oh, where can he get help? No, in Dominica help. I went down to the police station in New Jersey, saw a madman asking those police officers, what are they helping? You see, they take him and they take him for a few days and they put him. He changed? No. Hey, is it a joke? For petty crimes, they have to end up going jail because there's nothing else for them there. And you wondering why the youth are not getting better. They don't have proper father figures in the home to help them or to discipline them in a way. They grow up in society thinking they can do anything or take advantage of anybody because of the mothers that they raise up with. They go to society, they end up in prison, there's still no reform. So it seems like they're just getting worse and worse and worse. Every step just getting worse. I used to see other people I grew up with. Grew up with them. Little boy playing happy enjoyment. There was a situation that happened in Zika or Chance, whatever. I remember that boy. Cool, chill, relax, everything. Went back the other day, I just see the boy looking like a zombie. Like a zombie, the man going up and down, the man just walking up and down. Right now, the man is in jail for the alleged murder of or assist murder of
The church should come forward And the church should say, we want to step in there to make a difference in the lives of these young people.
Agreed. But it's not just the church. Men. You need men with principle. Men without principle, brothers and sisters, no matter what the church do. Sometimes even look at the Roman. I wonder if I can say that YouTube. Roman the Roman church is known for certain strange things, doing things to boys and all sorts of madness. So it's not just the church, brothers and sisters, but to have men with principle, brothers and sisters.
We want to build a building that will focus on rehabilitation of these young people.
Not just rehabilitation of the young people now, but rehabilitation of our governments too, brothers and sisters. They themselves need some rehabilitation. Anyways, guys, I go too long in this, a whole hour. That's crazy, brothers and sisters. What are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. If you want to get more on that vibrations, there's definitely more. Check out MO News on Facebook and you'll get to see more of that vibes right there, guys. What are your thoughts, man? I just had to bring this out. When I was listening to him, I was literally standing up there when I was like, yo, this guy is something. I have to share with you guys. Right there. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. Give this video a thumbs up if you understand it, and of course if you want to see more, definitely subscribe and turn on that post notification, guys. Men with principle is what society is lacking in our leadership, in all spheres of life, brothers and sisters. Because if you have these types of men in society, the kind of chaos that is happening today in Dominica, especially when our own leaders don't even know what they're about to sign, and they consider, oh, the good Lord this and the good Lord that. If you believe in the good Lord, you will not sign certain things that you know will bring harm and destroy the moral fabric of man. But hey, what do I know? What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. And of course, with that said, guys, I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Be real, be positive.